Stop waiting, stop asking, stop hesitating. You've got one life, and it's not waiting around for your doubts to disappear. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. You don't need more motivation. You need a decision, a line in the sand, a moment when you say, "This is it. I will not let another day go by doubting who I am and what I'm capable of." Believing in yourself isn't about hype. It's not about waking up every day with butterflies and sunshine. It's about owning your power even when it's messy, especially when it's messy. You see, too many people are walking around waiting for confidence to show up like Amazon Prime, fast, free, guaranteed in 2 days. It doesn't work like that. Confidence doesn't knock on your door. You build it, you sweat for it, you bleed for it. You make choices that scare you. You follow through when it hurts. You stack those moments until belief becomes your standard, not your wish. But what if I fail? Good. You should. Because failure is feedback. You either win or you learn, and both make you stronger. Belief isn't fragile, it's forged in fire. Every time you fall and get up, you're reinforcing the identity of someone who can't be stopped. And hear me loud and clear, you are not your past. You are not the opinions of your family. You are not your failures, your fears, your flaws. You are what you decide to become starting right now. Step 1, burn the bridge. There comes a point in every person's life when they have to make a decision. Not a maybe, not a someday, but a true all-in decision. A moment when you draw the line in the sand and say, "I'm not going back." And that moment, right now, is yours. If you want to believe in yourself, truly believe, not just hype yourself up for a few minutes, but own it in your bones, you need to do one thing first. You need to burn the damn bridge. Because here's the truth no one tells you. As long as you keep a backup plan, as long as you leave the side door open, as long as there's a piece of you still clinging to who you used to be, you'll never fully step into who you're meant to become. That old version of you, the one who hesitated, who second-guessed, who doubted every step forward, that version of you is comfortable, it's predictable, but it's not where greatness lives. You've been carrying that version of you like dead weight, dragging it into every new opportunity, letting it whisper in your ear every time you get close to the edge of growth. What if you're not enough? What if you fail again? What if people see through you? That voice? That's not your truth. That's your fear. That's the voice of the old identity, the version of you that was shaped by your lowest standards, your past pain, and the lies you've repeated so often they've started to sound like facts. Burning the bridge means making that old voice irrelevant. It means committing so deeply to your next level that the previous version of you has nowhere to return to, no safety net, no fallback, no old habits to crawl back into when life gets hard. It's gone, torched, done. That's the moment belief is born. Not when everything feels good, not when everything makes sense, but when you decide that your future matters more than your fear, that your purpose is more important than your comfort, that who you want to become deserves more attention than who you've been. Think about it. How many times have you started something only to pull back when it got uncomfortable? How many goals did you almost reach but stopped short because doubt crept in? How many times have you let yourself off the hook because you knew deep down you could always go back to what's familiar? It ends when you say it ends. Burning the bridge isn't about being reckless. It's about being relentless. It's about committing so deeply to your vision that there is no plan B, only plan become. It's about removing the option to retreat, to rationalize, to make excuses. Because belief thrives in environments where there's no way out but through. Let me be clear, your old story is seductive. It's comfortable. It'll keep showing up in your mind like an old friend. Familiar, safe, predictable, but it's lying to you. That story is not who you are. That story is just the result of repetition, of fear, of low standards, of survival mode. And you're not here to survive, you're here to lead, to grow, to create, to dominate the path you choose. You want belief? Then you need to eliminate escape routes. The reason people don't believe in themselves isn't because they're not capable, it's because they keep one foot in who they were, they dip their toes in greatness, but keep their heels in mediocrity. They chase their dream with a leash around their own neck, tied to an identity that no longer serves them. You cannot build a new life while protecting the remains of the old one. You cannot rise while dragging the past behind you like armor made of doubt. Burn the bridge means you cut the rope, you break the cycle, you create pressure that transforms. It's not comfortable, but belief isn't born in comfort, it's born in commitment. You want to believe in yourself? Then burn the damn bridge. Destroy the plan B. Kill the old identity. Remove the option to be anything less than what you know you're capable of. Because only when going back is no longer an option does forward become the only direction. Only then do you start to find out what you're really made of. Only then do you start to understand the raw, untapped power that's been waiting under the surface this whole time, the real you, the relentless you, the unstoppable you, the one who doesn't flinch under pressure, the one who doesn't beg for belief, but builds it, breathes it, becomes it. And it all begins when you decide that the old you doesn't get to come with you. Step 2, move your body like you believe. If you want to change your life, stop starting in your head. You've tried that, you've overthought, you've analyzed every angle, played out every scenario, doubted, hesitated, then looped back again. The mind is powerful, yes, but if you're trying to think your way into belief while your body is slouched, your breathing is shallow, your posture is weak, and your energy is low, you're already losing the battle. Because your body is the first battleground, it's the trigger, the gateway, the thermostat for your state of being. And if you want to believe in yourself, you better start moving like someone who's already there. There's no such thing as self-belief without embodiment. You cannot fake power in your mind while showing up physically like you're apologizing for taking up space. Watch how people walk when they're on fire. There's no hesitation, no looking down, no shrinking. And if shoulders are back, chin is up, chest open, eyes forward, every movement says, I'm here, I'm ready, I own this moment. They don't walk into rooms, they command them. That isn't arrogance, that's alignment. And the beauty of this truth is that it works in reverse. You don't have to wait to feel confident to start acting like you are. You flip the switch by leading with your body. You take control of your physical state, and your mind follows. You breathe deeper, you stand taller, you speak with conviction, you move like someone who is unstoppable. That's when your brain starts getting the signal, oh, we're doing this. We're not asking for permission anymore. Too many people wait until they feel ready to show up powerfully, but readiness is a lie. There is no perfect moment. There's only now, and how you choose to enter it. And so if you're walking through life, dragging your feet, hunched over, sighing every other minute, shrinking into your clothes, constantly fidgeting or hiding behind timid energy, guess what message you're sending to yourself? That you're not enough, that you're unsure, that you're hoping no one notices, you don't believe in your own power, but shift your physiology even slightly and everything starts to change. Take up more space, expand your gestures, breathe with your whole diaphragm, speak from your core, not your throat, make eye contact that doesn't flinch, clap your hands like you mean it, move with precision like every step has intention behind it. And suddenly, the fog begins to lift, the doubts start to fade, because your nervous system is now being conditioned to associate power with presence. You don't need motivation to do this, you just need a choice. You can sit still and let fear anchor you, or you can stand up, move your body, and shift your state in an instant. This is the most overlooked secret of belief, that it doesn't live in your thoughts, it lives in your motion. You want to feel strong? Move like you're strong. You want to feel unshakable? Plant your feet and own the ground you're standing on. Your body is either reinforcing your doubts or reinforcing your destiny. And every second you get to decide which. This is why elite performers, top athletes, warriors, leaders, they don't just think differently, they move differently. They walk into adversity like it's already beat. They breathe through chaos like it's part of the plan. They don't just manage their state, they master it, and it starts with how they carry themselves. Every single moment, you've got to train your body to express the belief you're stepping into. Not just when you're on a stage, not just when people are watching, but when you wake up in the morning, when you walk into the gym, when you sit at your desk, when no one's watching and you've got every reason to slump back into the old version of you, that's when the new version has to take over. You breathe deeper. You move with purpose. You act like the person you're becoming, not someday, right now. Through movement, through action, through energy that refuses to be ignored. Because when your body leads, your mind follows. When your motion shifts, your emotion follows. When you change how you move, you change what you believe is possible. When you walk like you already believe, speak like you already know, and show up like you've already arrived, the world doesn't get to decide your value anymore. You do. And that begins the moment you choose to move. Like belief isn't a wish, it's your new default setting. Step 3, get around fire. You want to believe in yourself? Then stop surrounding yourself with people who are addicted to doubt. Belief is contagious, but so is fear. So is mediocrity. So is settling. You can do all the inner work in the world, but if you keep putting yourself in environments that drain you, shrink you, dismiss you, or tolerate your excuses, you're feeding the exact identity you're trying to kill. You can't build confidence in a room full of people who aren't building anything. You need to get around fire. Real fire. The kind that makes you uncomfortable because it burns through your excuses. The kind of energy that calls you out and calls you up. People who don't care about your reasons. They care about your results. People who see the future version of you and refuse to let you act like anything less. People who challenge you not because they don't believe in you, but because they do. So much that they won't let you play small even for a minute. Fire doesn't coddle you. Fire doesn't whisper to your insecurities and pat you on the back while you drown in your own limitations. Fire says, "You're better than this. Get up, let's go." Fire shows you what's possible by being it. It doesn't talk about belief, it radiates it. And when you're around that kind of energy, something inside you starts to shift. You begin to remember. You start to rise. You start to move different, think different, carry yourself different. Because greatness isn't something you read about anymore, it's something you feel in the room. But if you're constantly around people who settle, who gossip, who spend more time talking about why life's unfair than doing anything about it, guess what gets into your system? That low-grade background noise of why bother, that subconscious pull toward average. And you start to shrink. Not all at once, but little by little. You laugh a little less. You chase a little less. You settle a little more. You start believing that maybe this is just how it is. And that's not a lack of discipline, that's a lack of environment. That's the cost of surrounding yourself with low temperature energy. It numbs you, it dulls your hunger, it rewards your excuses with approval and calls it love. But love isn't letting someone stay stuck. Love is pushing someone into their potential whether they like it or not. That's why you need to be ruthless about who gets access to your energy. You need to protect your belief like your life depends on it, because it does. Your belief is oxygen, and you're either breathing in courage or you're inhaling poison. You can't believe in yourself when you're constantly defending your dreams to people who've already quit on theirs. You can't expand while keeping close company with people who fear growth. You can't rise when you're surrounded by those who are committed to comfort. So find the fire, the ones who challenge you with love, not shame. The ones who are climbing their own mountain and will pull you up, not pull you down. The ones who don't flinch when you speak your vision out loud because to them it's not crazy. It's overdue. You know you're around fire when you feel lit up, even when life is heavy. You know you're around fire when being in that energy doesn't drain you, it reminds you. You leave those rooms walking taller, thinking sharper, speaking with more clarity, not because they told you what to do, but because their energy woke up the part of you that already knew. And sometimes, that's all it takes. One room, one conversation, one voice that says you've got more in you, and suddenly the fog lifts. That's why you can't afford to stay in dead circles. You weren't made for rooms that require you to dim down to fit in. You weren't made to apologize for your ambition or downplay your desire just to make insecure people feel comfortable. You weren't made to explain your hunger to people who've never been hungry. You were made to run with the wild ones, the committed ones, the relentless ones, the ones who know belief is built, guarded, fueled, and expanded through the company you keep and the standards you rise to, just by being in their presence. So when you're trying to believe in yourself and the spark isn't there, maybe the question isn't what's wrong with me, maybe it's who the hell am I surrounding myself with? Because energy is everything, and belief doesn't grow in cold soil, it grows in fire. It grows when you're around people who are too focused on winning to be worried about playing it safe. It grows when you're in the heat of greatness and you finally realize that you're not the exception, you're just the one who's been holding back. Step 4, keep showing up. Belief isn't built in the moments when everything's working. It's built in the moments when nothing is. It's easy to feel strong when the path is clear, the winds are coming, the people are cheering. But what about when you're alone? When it's quiet? When the results aren't there yet and no one's clapping for your effort? That's where belief is forged. That's where identity gets rewritten. That's where most people quit. And that's where you need to double down. You want to believe in yourself? Then you better learn to keep showing up when it's not sexy, not fun, not easy, and especially when it feels like it's not working. This is the part where most people want a shortcut, a hack, a way out of the process. But belief isn't given, it's earned through repetition, through resilience, through the sheer act of showing up again and again, even when your mind is screaming for comfort, even when doubt tells you to sit this one out, even when the world isn't watching and you think, what's the point? That's when it matters most, because if you only show up when you feel like it, you're not building belief, you're reinforcing weakness. And weakness is a habit that looks a lot like rest, but it's really decay. You keep showing up not because it's easy, but because it's who you are now. You've burned the bridge, you've changed your state, you've surrounded yourself with fire. And now you show up. Because not showing up is no longer an option. That version of you is gone, buried. This new version, they operate on discipline, not feelings, on vision, not vibes. You show up because every time you do, you cast a vote for the future you. You reinforce a new identity. You teach your nervous system, this is who I am now. I don't flinch, I don't fold, I don't run. This is the part that separates contenders from pretenders. Anyone can post when it's good. Anyone can talk when the scoreboard shows a win. But who are you when it's hard? Who are you when it's boring? Who are you when nobody sees you grinding, sweating, bleeding behind the scenes? Because that's where belief is made. Not in the highlight reel, but in the dirt, in the silence, in the unseen, uncelebrated, unglamorous moments of pure persistence. Showing up isn't just about work, it's about alignment. It's a declaration. A decision that says, even when it's slow, I stay loyal to the mission. Even when it hurts, I still answer the call. Every time you show up, even when the resistance is high, you're sending a message to your subconscious. We don't abandon ourselves anymore. We don't let fear lead. We don't flake. We fight. We rise. We keep coming. We're not hoping for belief. We're becoming belief. That's how you change your life. Not in one breakthrough, not in one epic win, but in the daily choice to return, to recommit, to take another step, and then another. Not perfectly, not flawlessly, but consistently. Especially when it would be easier to stay small. Especially when it would be easier to skip a day, make an excuse, blame the timing. Because belief respects grit. Belief respects hustle. Belief respects those who show up when there's every reason not to. And listen, it's going to get hard. You will get tested. There will be days when nothing clicks. Days when your body's tired, your mind's heavy, and the voice of doubt is louder than your vision. But that's the exact moment when you show yourself what you're made of. Because belief isn't about feeling good. It's about staying solid, staying consistent, staying true. When you keep showing up day after day, regardless of how you feel, you're building something far stronger than hypermotivation. You're building unshakable trust in yourself. The kind of trust that says, I've got my own back. I don't quit on me. I'm not going anywhere. And when you stack enough of those days, belief isn't something you chase anymore. It's something you own. Step 5, destroy the lies that hold you hostage. You will never rise while you're dragging lies, period. You can put in the work, say the affirmations, even show up daily. But if you're still carrying the chains of false beliefs, you're running with the brakes on. These lies don't just slow you down, they sabotage you from the inside. Quietly, subtly, disguised as humility, disguised as just being realistic. But make no mistake, those lies are the invisible prison keeping you from everything you're capable of. The worst part, most people don't even know they're in a prison. They've been believing the same stories for so long they think it's truth. I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. I'm too old, I'm too young. It's too late for me. I've already tried and failed. People like me don't succeed. And on, a looping soundtrack of limitation that plays on autopilot. And they don't question it because it's familiar, it's comfortable. Even if it's painful, it's predictable. But that comfort, that's the enemy. That's the cocoon of mediocrity dressed up like safety. If you want to believe in yourself, then you've got to declare war on the narratives that have hijacked your identity. Because lies don't just live in your thoughts, they shape your behavior, they control your posture, your tone, your decisions. They show up in how you walk into a room and how quickly you back down, and how small you make yourself when it's time to speak, to lead, to go after what you want. You think it's fear, but it's the lie underneath the fear that's holding the rope. And the only way to break free is to stop negotiating with it. You don't reason with lies, you don't massage them, you don't soften them into something more manageable, you burn them to the ground. You confront them directly. You look that voice in the eye and say, I see you, and I'm done giving you space in my life. Because every day you let that lie sit in the driver's seat, you shrink a little more. You trade your potential for protection. You abandon your future for the comfort of a story that was never even true. Ask yourself, where did the lie even come from? A parent who didn't believe in you, a coach who told you you'd never make it, a failure that made you feel like a fraud, a moment of pain that you turned into a permanent identity? Good. Name it, expose it, because lies feed on silence. They grow in the dark. But the second you bring them into the light and speak truth louder than the lie, they start to lose their power. Truth is the antidote to internal poison. And your truth is this: you are not broken, you are not behind, you are not your past, you are not what happened to you, you are not your worst moment, you are not your fear. You are capable, worthy, needed, and called, and the only thing standing between you and the full expression of that is the narrative you haven't burned yet. But here's the catch: destroying the lie isn't a one-time decision. It's a battle you show up to every day, because even when you rip it out at the root, life will try to replant it. New challenges will try to resurrect the old story. A delay will whisper, see, I told you so. A mistake will shout, you're still not enough. And in those moments, your job isn't to entertain it. Your job is to decide again, choose again, replace the lie with truth on repeat until truth becomes your instinct, until belief becomes your baseline, until you stop looking for evidence that you can't and start creating evidence that you can. This is your inner battleground. Not outside, not in the world, inside. Right there between your ears, in the space where your future is being negotiated in every thought. You want freedom? It starts with full exposure, full responsibility, full ownership. Because you can't conquer what you won't confront, and you can't step into power while you're clinging to a script that was never yours to begin with. The lies are loud, but they're not real. And they only live as long as you let them. Step 6. Create momentum through micro wins. Everyone wants to win big, but the ones who actually do are the ones who master the small wins first. Because momentum doesn't start with a breakthrough. It starts with a decision, a commitment, a single moment where you say, today I move. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when the stars align, now. And not in some massive all-or-nothing explosion of change, but in the tiniest win that no one will see but you. That's where power begins. In the private, uncelebrated, unapplauded victories you stack when no one's watching. See, people wait for motivation. They wait to feel confident before they take action. They wait to believe in themselves before they move. But that's backwards. That's like waiting for the fire to start before you add wood. Momentum doesn't show up before the movement, it's created by the movement. And movement doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be pretty. It just needs to happen. You brush your teeth in the morning, not because it's a massive achievement, but because it's a micro commitment to health. Same with momentum. You build belief one rep, one step, one I said I would and I did at a time. That's the power of micro wins. They're proof, evidence, reinforcement that you're not who you used to be. Every time you follow through, you tell your nervous system, this is real now. You stack a win, and then another, and another. It starts with waking up when you said you would, sending the email, finishing the workout, choosing the better food, making the tough call, not backing down. It's those moments, those seemingly insignificant moments, that shift your identity from someone who talks about change to someone who executes change. Because what stops most people isn't lack of desire, it's the weight of inaction. It's paralysis by perfection. They want the plan to be flawless, the timing to be ideal, the risk to be zero, but belief doesn't grow in theory, it grows in motion. And that motion doesn't have to be dramatic, it just has to be real. One push-up, one paragraph, one connection. That's where momentum is born. That's how you break inertia. That's how you start winning, not someday, but today. And once you start stacking those wins, even if they're small, something unlocks inside you. Start to walk different, talk different. You move with more certainty because you're not just saying you're changing, you're proving it. And proof is powerful because proof silences the inner critic. Proof overrides the old programming. Proof is what you fall back on when the voice of doubt comes knocking again. And it will, it always will. But if you've got a stack of micro wins behind you, you've got ammo. You've got history, you've got momentum. Micro wins are the antidote to overwhelm. When the mountain looks too high, you don't quit, you lower your eyes and conquer the next step. You don't need to be at the summit to feel power, you just need to move with purpose. You just need to keep the streak alive. And the crazy thing is, when you honor the small wins, you start accelerating toward the big ones. What once felt impossible becomes inevitable because you're not trying to force a breakthrough, you're building toward one. Consistently, relentlessly, brick by brick, rep by rep, choice by choice. You want to know what separates those who rise from those who retreat? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even knowledge. It's execution, it's momentum, it's the commitment to keep showing up and doing the work even when the work feels small, especially when it feels small. Because that's where champions are made. Not in the spotlight, not in the roar of the crowd, but in the quiet moments where no one else would know if you quit, but you would. And when you refuse to quit on the small stuff, you become someone who can be trusted with the big stuff. Someone who doesn't need hype to stay hungry, someone who doesn't chase momentum, they create it. So I'll leave you with this. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to believe that you are worth the fight. Because when you start believing in yourself, really believing, nothing becomes impossible. So stop waiting, decide, move, become. The world's not waiting for you to believe in yourself. It's waiting for you to unleash.